What is up, guys? It's Troy at the Full Setup here, back with another video for you. And today I want to talk about why I keep coming back to this microphone, the Electro-Voice RE320. This is a 230 to 250 pound dynamic microphone. It's the little brother of the Electro-Voice RE20, and I just absolutely love this microphone. I haven't used it for a little bit on the channel because I've been buying some extra microphones for, different things, whether it's like booming. We were also using, the SE Dynacaster for a bit, which I absolutely love. It's still a hard decision on which one I prefer. Out of these two, I would probably just say buy both. And I know a lot of you aren't going to do that, but that's what I would do. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this microphone a little bit today. I'm going to be honest with you, there is going to be processing on this microphone because, I've been using it for a while and there's so many videos online anyway, this unprocessed. I just wanted to run the microphone processed for today's video. It's just going to be a waffle, really. I'm just going to tell you the reasons why I like it and the reasons why we're looking at buying maybe 4 more. Well, my work is anyway. We're going to get them for work. So first things first, this microphone replaced the first professional microphone I ever bought. I was one of those people that made the stupid YouTube mistake. I was constantly thinking that I needed a better camera and more expensive lenses and more expensive lighting and more expensive editing PCs. And I wasn't spending any money on my microphone budget. And I see it all the time. You see people, they think, oh, I need a £3,000 full frame camera. And then all they're going to do is put like £100 shotgun microphone on the end of it and sit the thing like 3-4 foot away from them. They have this glorious picture quality, but their audio just doesn't sound very good. Okay. So I made that mistake. And the microphone I bought was the SM7B. So I know this is going to cause a little bit of a fuss here because, most people love that microphone. And I'm not going to take anything away from the SM7B. It is a fantastic microphone and I can see why so many people like to use it. And a lot of its qualities are, again, a lot of qualities of any dynamic microphone. So the reason why a lot of people like dynamics is because you can use them in a less than treated environment. Okay. You can use them in a less than when you haven't got a lot of treatment. I was going about, this is a massive room. There's so much echo and reverb in this room. It's unreal. And that is a big reason for it. And I love the bottom end on the SM7B. But the one thing that I really didn't like about the SM7B was the top end on it. It's a very dark microphone. Now, if you have a very sibilant voice, and I even do have a sibilant voice, that is why people gravitate towards the SM7B because it helps deal with some of that. Especially for streamers that are doing 3, 4, 5 hours at a time, having lots of top end isn't going to be for them because people think it's fatiguing. But the more I listen to audio, whether it's when I'm watching film, TV shows, just listening to people speak, I find that I'm analyzing a lot more stuff now as I consume content. You do actually want some of that top end in there. You do want that sibilance and you want that shine. And that's one thing that dynamic microphones aren't really known for. So I really did persist with the SM7B, but it wasn't for me. I think I'm going to buy another one. I feel like I'm going to give it another go, okay? And also as well, it's just good to have for comparison videos. And that was a big reason why I was so happy about the SE Dynacaster, because I said in my review for it, it's almost got that lovely bottom end of an SM7B. It's not quite there. And it's almost got the top end of Electrovoice, but it's not quite there. And that is why I really love the Dynacaster, but I keep coming back to the RE320. So let me tell you the reasons why I keep coming back. Number one, this microphone does not take a lot of gain. You don't need to use FET heads and lifters with the RE320. You do with the RE20, that's more gain hungry, okay? But you can run this thing super low. I think I'm running it at like 44 or 46 dB at the moment. It's, the sensitivity on this mic is really good. So you don't need to run a lot of gain with it, which is perfect. Number two, now obviously this microphone doesn't have as much bottom end as other dynamic microphones, i.e. a Procaster and SM7B, or I'm just going to keep picking this one up, the SE Electronics Dynacaster. But the one thing that this microphone has that I love over all of them is the variable D technology. So if you're someone that moves about a little bit, I can get quite fidgety at times. And especially when I'm gaming, I'm all over the place. I sort of like look around and all that. You know, if I'm playing a driving game, I'm doing this. Do you know what I mean? I'm that sort of guy. I'm very fidgety. And the variable D technology in this, the fact that it doesn't have a massive proximity effect, it's still there. But the fact that you can move around is very good. A lot of other dynamic microphones, if you set it up for maybe 6 inches away or 3 inches away, wherever you set it up for how you like it voiced, if you then make a 6 to, maybe few inch change move around on it, it really affects the quality of the sound compared for how you set it up. And that's the thing that I love about the RE320 and essentially the RE20. Okay. So on to number 3 then. Now, as I said earlier, dynamic microphones are dark, okay? They're not going to give you the clarity for indoor recording as using something like a hypercardioid small diaphragm condenser microphone. This is the Audix SC-X1 hypercardioid. But this microphone, when I boom it out, although there's going to be a lot more clarity, it's still going to have more reverb and all of those sounds that are coming in, okay? But that's one place where Electrovoice sort of buck the trend a little bit. A lot of people say it's like the condenser of a dynamic, it's borderline on condenser, and I don't think it's quite there, but there is a lot of top end. The RE20 doesn't have as much. The RE320 is quite bright. So I do need to use a de-esser with this, and that's something that a lot of people might find. They might find it's too much sibilance. Like I said there earlier, I like to have some sibilance in my audio recording, and this sounds very nice for 10 or 15 minutes, but you do have to de-ess it a little bit if you're doing long edits with this, podcasts, long voiceovers, all of that sort of stuff. It just needs a little bit in there, okay? The fourth reason why I really like this microphone is I obviously listened to this and the RE20 a lot at the same time, okay? The money wasn't a factor, okay? It was £100 more than an SM7B. This is £100 less. It wasn't a problem for me. I just wanted a microphone. And I agree with what a lot of people say about this microphone is it's almost like what you end up, your RE20 gets a bit like when you EQ it. This microphone doesn't need a lot. So the RE20 is a lot more flat and is going to be a lot more better for really shaping the EQ for different people. This one is a little bit more voiced. But that is where I think this has been a bit of a mixed bag, where people either really like this microphone or they don't. Because of that fact that it almost doesn't need a lot of EQ, for me, I barely have to touch it. Other people, they might have to bend the will on it a little bit more. So yeah, is there anything else? Again, plosives. Do you know what I mean? I've not even got a pop filter on this. It doesn't really even need me to have one. But I would put it on one. And yeah, the variable D technology is probably one of my most favorite things about it. Like I said, I'm thinking about buying them for work. So they're thinking about setting up a podcast anyway at my work. And just when you've got people that are new to microphones, new to all this stuff, they maybe don't know how to voice it as well. Because that's one of the biggest things. You can buy any microphone for any amount of price, but if you don't know how to talk into it properly, it's still going to sound just as crap as your £100 microphone. Obviously, you'll notice some step up in quality and all of that sort of stuff, but you need to be able to voice your microphone. And I just feel these are perfect. If you're bringing in guests, bringing in people that don't talk into microphones that often, especially if they've got to wear headphones. I hate wearing closed back headphones and monitoring. I just can't get to grips with it. I've been really struggling. And I can't use open back because, for a recording standpoint, it's going to probably pick it up because I like my headphones loud. So I really struggle with that. And if I struggle and I'm used to talking into microphones all of the time, imagine what someone's going to be like if they don't use microphones very often. And that is where I just think this thing really shines ahead. So if I was building a podcast for 4 people, 100%, it would be an RE320. And obviously, if the money was there, it would be, an RE20. So yeah, waffling there at the end of the video. Just keep returning to this microphone. Like I said, this came so close, and I'm still probably going to use it all the time. I love the NTG3. I've absolutely loved using this, but it's so bassy. So freaking bassy. I feel like I've almost got to have the thing like 2.5, 3 foot away from me to get rid of the bass, and then there's too much reverb and stuff coming in with it as well. The Audix, freaking love this microphone. I just totally wish it was a little bit quieter on the self noise. This is actually quite sibilant as well. You have to de-ess this quite heavily, I have found. But yeah, I want to know what your thoughts are. Are any of you out there Electro-Voice users? Have you used the RE320? Has it been your go-to mic because it's something that you keep returning to? Or did you get it and just hate it? Maybe you bought it because it was a bit cheaper than a 7B, and then you ended up buying a 7B and that's what you preferred. This is the greatest thing about audio. It's all subjective. So I just want to know your opinions on it. Anyway, that's it from me today. If you like the video, leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back with some more content very soon.